What's up everyone and welcome to the club. In today's lesson we'll be sketching a Russian blue cat. We'll begin today's lesson by blocking out the basic shape and composition of the drawing before we get into all those details. Now I'm going to be using this 0.7mm mechanical pencil with a 2B graphite stick. Now if you don't have a mechanical pencil, anything you have around the house will work just fine. So the first thing I'm going to do is define the size of the head. So let's start at the very top center of our page. We're going to sketch a line coming down the middle, just using these short lines. Let's move back to the center. We're going to draw another line going across from left to right. Now I want to use these two lines to help us create a circle in the center of our page to define the size of the head. So from that center point, let's move up to right about here. Just going to mark that off. Let's measure that top distance from the center down towards the bottom. Do the same thing. And then we'll repeat that across this horizontal line. So measuring the distance from the center over towards the left and then over towards the right. And I'll connect the center point of each mark with a curve to create our circle. So we're going to start all the way around the left side, coming in towards the right. Now the circle doesn't have to be perfect, we're just using this as a guide, and we just smooth this out as best we can. So you see that I'm using multiple lines to create this circle. Let's add another line coming down the side of our circle towards the bottom. And I'm also going to extend that up towards the top. Now that we set up our drawing with our circle and guidelines, let's start blocking out the key facial features. Now along this line on the left side, we're going to draw a circle for the eye. I'm just going to draw that right about there, about that size. Now let's move over towards the right side and do the same thing, drawing that same size circle. Now with this portrait, I'm going to turn the head slightly over towards the right side just to give it a little bit more depth. So let's take that bottom half of our circle, I'm just going to split this in half and find the center point of this line. Draw a line going across from left to right. And I'm going to push the center of the nose over towards the right. So from this center point, let's draw an upside down triangle coming down and then up. Now connect the inside of the eyes with a straight angle line coming out towards the side of the nose. From the tip of the nose, draw a short line coming down, angle of the mouth coming down and out towards the side. And I'm just going to curve the muzzle coming around and then in. Let's connect the bottom of the mouth with a curve for the chin coming down and then up. Let's go over towards the right side of our circle and angle the neck, coming down towards the left, towards the bottom of our page. Let's go over towards the right side. We're going to step in, angle this down and out so it gets wider as it comes down towards the bottom. Now right in the center here, we're just going to add a little fold coming across towards that center line. Let's take out the top portion of that circle. So we're going to step down, draw a straight line going across right about here. And then from here, it's going to curve the head, going around and then down. Just give it a little bit more shape. Round this out and then pull that in. Now we're going to leave a gap in the center. Let's draw the ears. On the left side, we're going to draw a straight angle line going up towards that outside line. Let's go over towards the right side and do the same thing, going up. Now on the end, we're going to draw a small circle just to round out the tip of the ears. Then from the outside, we're going to come straight down and then bend that in right where the circle meets that outside line. Now that we have a rough sketch in place, let's go back and clean this up by erasing some of these guidelines. And once we clean up our drawing, I'm going to go back in just using this rough sketch as a guide to help us layer on some more details and refine the shapes. So start from the top of the eye. It's going to bend the eye coming out, a slight curve coming down. Tuck the eye underneath, round this out. I'm just going to add that little tear duct coming in. So let's just curve the top of the eyelid coming down. So we're just taking out the top edge of that circle. Now in the center of each eye, we're going to draw the pupil. So we're going to curve the outside, coming down in with point along the top and bottom. Now over on the top right side, we're going to add a rectangle coming in, crossing the edge of the pupil. Do the same thing on the right. It just sits on top. I'm going to move down and add some shape to the nose. So we're going to start with a curve in the middle. Turn this out towards the side. Come in towards the side and then down towards the bottom. I'm just going to round out the bottom edge of the mouth, coming down and out. and pull that up. Now you can also sink in the cheekbones with a slight curve on either side. Now I want to add some more shape to the head. So just going to modify the shape. We're just going to give this a slight bump going up and then down across the ears. Work our way around the side. Just going to round out the head. Come back in towards the chin. Now let's add some more shape to the right side. I'm just going to change the shape of the neck. I'm just going to blend this down and out. Curve that down towards the bottom. And a slight bend towards the right side. Now I'm just going to add some more shape to the ears. Just bending this in, rounding out the tip and the side of the ear. Now right here along the side, we're just going to add a little bit of a fold and pull that back in. And we'll go back and do another cleanup. Now at this stage, you want to take a step back and make sure that the proportions and balance are correct. And if they are, you can go in and start adding those fine details. Again, just using this rough sketch as a guide. You want to add a little bit more contrast to our drawing. And you can see that I'm just brushing the fur texture, going around the eyes and then out. Just going to darken up the inside of the eyes. You want to go around that highlight. So just adding a little bit of a shadow across the top of the eye and down along the sides. We're also going to darken up the pupil, again going in behind that highlight. I'm going to switch to the side edge of my 2mm pencil and just add a light shade along the top and then fade that down to create a little bit of a glare. I'm just going around just adding some light fur texture inside. This will help just modify the shape of the face. And right here, we're just going to add a soft fur texture going across the mouth, going out towards the cheeks. Just pulling some of that fur texture coming down towards the chin. I'm just going to soften up the chin. Let's go up to the top of the head and add that soft edge of that fur going up towards the ears. And I'm just going to define the ears. Go around the outside. Gonna add those little lines going across the side of the cheeks, sort of where the whiskers will sit. I'm using the side edge of my pencil for this. And I'm going to switch to the side edge of my 2mm pencil and just add some shadows and some fine textures. So we'll start inside the ears. We just want to darken this up on the bottom and push that out towards the outside. I'm just going to push the left side of the body into shadow and just fade that across towards the right. I'm also going to create a shadow just underneath the head going across the body and just fading that down. I'm just going to go back in and just lightly add some more texture inside the shadow areas. Now as we get closer to the end, I'm just going to tighten up my shadows and details, and always be sure to sign my artwork, and that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of a Russian blue cat. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, please be sure to subscribe because I'm posting new lessons every single week. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.